Welcome to Boring Greek Myths for Sleep. The best Greek mythology stories. Tonight, you're invited to drift into the quiet world of ancient tales, where gods, mortals, and timeless echoes move at the pace of dreams. These myths are not told in haste, but as gentle waves rolling slowly across the centuries. You will hear of beginnings shaped from silence, of titans rising like mountains, and of gods whose loves and struggles mirror our own. Each story, simple yet eternal, is a reflection of the human heart, woven into the stars, carried by whispers of the night. Here, in the calm of Mythoria, the myths do not ask you to stay awake, but to rest with them, to let their rhythm guide you toward stillness. Now let us begin. Boring Greek Myths for Sleep. The best Greek mythology stories. Boring Greek Myths for Sleep. Whispers of the beginning. You drift into the hush of ancient Greece, where stories are not written but sung in the air. You hear of chaos, the silent void, and of Gaia, the patient earth. Slowly, the roots of myth stretch into your imagination, as if your heart is touching the first dawn of story. You close your eyes, and your breath begins to slow. The day loosens its hold on you, and the night welcomes you with a quiet embrace. As your mind softens, you find yourself drifting, not into dreams yet, but into something older, something that feels as if it has always been waiting. You are not in your bed anymore. You are floating in a vast emptiness, where there is no sound, no light, and no shape. This is chaos, the beginning of all things in Greek thought. It is not chaos as you know it today, not loud or frantic, but more like a deep, endless silence, a womb of possibility where everything rests, waiting to take form. From that stillness, you sense the presence of Gaia, the earth. She is not the earth you walk on now, but the first ground, the first foundation. Her breath is slow, her patience infinite. You imagine her as a vast, steady body stretching beneath your mind's feet. She carries weight and promise, and in her you feel the tenderness of stability. Alongside her comes Nyx, the night, wrapping the silence with dark softness, and Erebus, the deep shadow that settles into every hidden place. These names drift through your thoughts like whispers, ancient syllables that feel heavy with mystery. You let these presences unfold in your imagination. There is no rush, only the rhythm of beginnings. Out of this quiet void, Eros, the force of attraction, appears, not as the playful god with wings you might picture, but as a pulse, a gentle warmth drawing everything together. Without Eros, nothing could cling, nothing could join, nothing could move beyond the stillness. You sense how, even in myth, love is the binding thread, the unseen gravity that makes order from the formless. As you drift, you notice how these early figures are not yet gods in shining temples. They are forces, feelings given shape by the human need to explain. You can feel the way ancient people must have felt them. The ground beneath their feet, the night that stretched forever, the unseen pull that drew seed to soil, and person to person. These myths are not distant. They are mirrors of the world as it once felt to those who lived close to the earth and sky. The void grows softer now, no longer empty, but gently alive. You imagine Gaia lifting mountains from her shoulders, rivers flowing like silver threads from her veins. You see Nyx spreading her cloak across the heavens, scattering faint lights that will one day be stars. You feel the hush of Erebus filling every unseen corner, making space for both rest and mystery. It is as if the universe is sighing into being, piece by piece, in rhythms slow enough for sleep. There is comfort in knowing that even the oldest stories begin not with noise, but with silence. The Greeks, too, looked at the sky and wondered where it all came from. Their answer was not numbers or equations, but these living forces woven together with names that still echo after thousands of years. As you lie here, Listening, you can sense how those answers were never about facts alone, but about calming the restless heart, giving shape to the unknowable. You let the images linger, the endless silence, the patient earth, the embracing night, the hidden shadow, the quiet pull of love. They are not just distant characters in an old mythology. They are sensations you know in your own body, the weight beneath you, the darkness around you, the comfort of rest, and the soft connection to those you care for. In this way, the myths are not only history, they're also lullabies, reminding you that even beginnings can be slow, gentle, and filled with quiet wonder. And as this first chapter of myth settles into your mind, you wonder softly, if all creation began in silence, what new beginnings are waiting quietly within you, ready to take form when the time is right? The rise of the Titans. You wander through a world before gods, where the Titans hold the sky and the seas. Their strength feels endless, their reign steady, like mountains that seem eternal. Yet even in this vastness, a whisper of change lingers, waiting to soften their power. You breathe slowly, and the story carries you deeper into the unfolding of the world. Gaia, the earth, who once lay patient and alone, begins to stir with longing. She feels the weight of the sky pressing upon her body, and so she calls forth Uranus, the sky. He stretches above her, vast and glittering, covering her completely. Together they form the first great union, earth and sky bound in endless embrace. Out of this bond, life begins to pour forth. You see shapes emerging from their union, great beings, taller than mountains, stronger than storms. These are the Titans. 12 in number, they step into the world with quiet authority. There is Oceanus, who becomes the endless stream encircling the earth. There is Hyperion, radiant with the light of the sun, and Theia, whose brightness mirrors the shining heavens. Coeus and Phoebe bring wisdom and prophecy. Mnemosyne embodies memory, while Themis carries the balance of law and order. Cronus, the youngest but most cunning, watches them all with sharp eyes. Each Titan feels immense, eternal, as if they are carved not of flesh, but of the very fabric of nature itself. The world of the Titans is a world before men, before temples and prayers. It is raw, untamed, and heavy with power. You imagine standing before them, your heart small and your breath shallow, as their presence stretches across valleys and seas. They do not walk as mortals walk. They are the weight of oceans, the blaze of sunlight, the steady rhythm of time itself. To the ancient mind, these figures were not far-off gods, but reflections of the forces that shaped daily life, the waves that could feed or drown, the sun that could nurture or burn. But within this grandeur lies unease. Uranus, the sky, looks upon his children with fear. Their strength unsettles him, their presence threatens his rule. So he pushes them back, forcing them deep into Gaia's body, burying them in the dark places of the earth. Gaia groans in pain, her heart aching beneath the weight of children pressed into shadow. The world is beautiful, but it is also filled with strain, and in that strain, change begins to grow. You pause for a breath. Notice how this story is not unlike the rhythm of life. Beginnings come with harmony, but soon tension arrives, and balance must be broken before a new order can emerge. The Titans, though hidden, cannot be forgotten. In Gaia's grief, she begins to plan, whispering to her children of a rebellion yet to come. She shapes a great sickle, sharp and unyielding, forged from her own strength, and she asks which of her children will rise against their father. The silence deepens. One by one, the Titans hesitate, fearing Uranus's vast power. Only Cronus steps forward, his ambition stirring where courage is thin. He takes the sickle and, in secret, waits for the moment of defiance. When Uranus descends once more to press upon Gaia, Cronus strikes. The act is violent, But it is also transformation. The sky is cut away from the earth, and the Titans are finally free to walk without weight. This moment, though harsh, becomes the turning of ages. From the wound of Uranus, new beings are born, furies, spirits of vengeance, and giants of great force. The heavens and the earth are forever separated, but life, once suppressed, now surges with even more energy. Cronus claims leadership, and under him the Titans rise into their golden age. For a time, the world feels steady again, glowing with the power of new rulers. As you rest with this tale, you can sense the deeper pattern within it. Even myths speak to the truth that growth often demands rupture, that freedom often follows pain. The Titans are not merely ancient names, they are the embodiment of nature's cycles. The push and pull, the rise and fall, the struggle that makes way for transformation. Their age is one of strength and grandeur, but it is also only a step in the longer journey. For even Cronus, in his triumph, cannot escape the whisper of prophecy that one day his own child will rise against him. You linger in the stillness, holding that thought. How often does power, once gained, tremble at the thought of being lost? How often does strength carry within it the seed of its undoing? These questions, soft and timeless, float with you into the dark comfort of night, reminding you that every reign, even of Titans, is but a chapter in the endless rhythm of becoming. Zeus and the new order. The silence breaks with storms as Zeus rises, lightning in hand. You feel the world tilt as old rulers fall, and the sky opens to a new order. The air is heavy with both fear and awe, as if every breath carries a question. What comes after power is seized? You breathe deeply, and the story carries you further along the winding path of time. The Titans, once triumphant, now rule in majesty under the leadership of Cronus. For a while, it seems the world has settled into balance. The seas ripple under Oceanus, the sun burns with Hyperion's radiance, and the earth hums with the strength of their order. But balance never stays still for long. Within every reign lives the shadow of its own end, waiting patiently like a seed beneath the soil. Cronus, though powerful, is haunted by a whisper. A prophecy reaches his ears, carried like a breeze he cannot escape. It tells him that one day a child of his own blood will overthrow him, just as he once overthrew his father, Uranus. The words press on him like an invisible weight, heavier than the sky his father once carried. Fear begins to twist his heart, shaping every choice. When his children are born, Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, and Poseidon, he does not welcome them with joy. Instead, he swallows them whole, one by one, before they can grow. To him, this seems the only way to silence fate. To his wife, Rhea, it is unbearable grief. Imagine her heart, each new life, each cry of an infant, stolen and consumed in fear. The world may shine with Titan order, but beneath it, sorrow beats quietly, hidden but unrelenting. Yet destiny, like water, always finds a path. When her sixth child is born, Rhea cannot allow Cronus's fear to consume again. She hides the infant in secret, cradling him in a cave upon the island of Crete. Instead of her son, she hands Cronus a stone wrapped in swaddling cloth, and in his blind dread, he devours it without question. The child she saves is Zeus, small and fragile, yet destined to carry storms in his hands. In the cave, nymphs nurture him with honey, and a goat named Amalthea feeds him her milk. His cries are muffled by the beating of drums, so Cronus cannot hear. Slowly, quietly, he grows. The boy becomes a youth, and the youth a god who carries within him the fire of rebellion. His eyes hold the sharpness of lightning, and his spirit carries the inevitability of change. When the time comes, Zeus does not act alone. He gathers allies, his grandmother Gaia, who has long despised Cronus's cruelty, Metis, the goddess of cunning thought, who guides him with wisdom, and later, his siblings whom Cronus still holds within his belly. With Metis's counsel, Zeus prepares a potion and offers it to his father. Cronus drinks, and in agony, he begins to disgorge what he has swallowed. One by one, the children emerge, grown and strong, their lives spared though stolen for so long. Hestia steps out first, followed by Demeter, Hera, Hades, and Poseidon. United with Zeus, they form a new band, ready to rise against their father. The battle that follows is not short, it is not soft. It stretches across years, echoing with the clash of mountains hurled, with the roar of oceans, with the fury of lightning and fire. This war, remembered as the Titanomachy, shakes the very fabric of the earth. On one side stand the Titans, rooted in ancient power. On the other side stand Zeus and his siblings, fueled by destiny and a hunger for freedom. At last, Zeus's thunderbolts split the sky, scorching the battlefield with their light. One by one, the Titans fall, their strength crumbling beneath the storms. Cronus, the cunning ruler who once cut down his father, is overthrown by the very child he sought to destroy. The prophecy fulfills itself, as all prophecies do, not with haste, but with steady inevitability. The defeated Titans are cast into Tartarus, a pit deep beneath the earth, guarded forever by monstrous beings, so their power can never rise again. The world breathes differently now. A new order begins. Zeus claims the throne of the heavens, Hades takes the underworld, Poseidon rules the sea, and together they divide the realms of existence. It is the dawn of the Olympian gods, brighter, swifter, and closer to the lives of mortals. The Titans fade into shadow, remembered not as eternal rulers, but as the chapter that had to end for the next one to begin. As you rest with this story, you feel its rhythm in your own heart. Power shifts, fear drives choices, and yet change arrives anyway, like the coming of dawn after night. You wonder gently, how many times in your own life has fear tried to swallow what was meant to grow? And how many times has change, patient and inevitable, still found its way? Love, strife, and mortals. Your mind drifts to the quieter stories of Aphrodite's beauty, of Hera's jealousy, of mortals caught in divine quarrels. Each tale is a thread, weaving gods and humans together in fragile, glowing patterns. You sense how even myths mirror the struggles of an ordinary heart. You breathe softly, and the story shifts. The thunder of war fades, the cries of Titans sink into silence, and in their place comes something gentler, though no less powerful. The reign of Zeus and the Olympians has begun. The air feels lighter now, but it is also charged with new emotions: love, jealousy, passion, and strife. Unlike the Titans, whose forms were mountains and oceans, the Olympian gods are closer to the pulse of the human heart. Their lives and quarrels, their loves and betrayals, weave into the stories of mortals, binding heaven and earth with threads of desire. At the center of these tales is Aphrodite, goddess of love and beauty. Some say she was born from the foam of the sea, rising from the waves with a radiance so dazzling that even the gods turn their eyes away. Others whisper she is the child of Zeus. However she came to be, her presence stirs everything she touches. Imagine the way a single glance, a single smile can alter the course of a life. That is Aphrodite's gift and her danger. For love, in these stories, is never just sweetness. It is fire, unpredictable and consuming. But love does not live alone. Hera, the queen of the gods, stands beside Zeus as his wife, and her heart burns not with passion, but with jealousy. She is the guardian of marriage, and yet her life is shadowed by Zeus's countless affairs. Each betrayal cuts deeply, and from her pain come storms of vengeance, not only against Zeus, but against the mortal women and children entangled in his wandering desires. You can feel the ache in her, a divine reflection of a very human wound, the longing to be chosen, to be honored, to be enough. The gods do not simply watch humanity, they shape it with their emotions. They bless and curse with the same hand. Mortals are caught in their dramas like leaves tossed in the wind. Think of Helen, whose beauty, said to be a gift of Aphrodite, ignited the long war of Troy. Think of Io, transformed into a cow by Zeus to hide her from Hera's rage. Think of Semele, burned to ash when she asked to see Zeus in his true, blazing form. These stories are not distant. They echo the way human lives often bend beneath forces they cannot control. Desire, jealousy, ambition, and fate. And yet within these tangled tales, there is also tenderness. There are moments when love softens the sharp edges of strife. Orpheus, a mortal musician, wins the heart of Eurydice with the beauty of his song. Their love is fragile, and though it ends in sorrow, it shows how even in a world ruled by gods, the simple connection of two souls can shine brighter than thunder. Persephone, daughter of Demeter, is taken into the underworld by Hades, yet their union, though shadowed by darkness, becomes a story of cycles, of loss and return, echoing the seasons of the earth itself. As you rest in these stories, you can feel how the Olympians bring myth closer to your own breath. They are not remote forces of nature alone. They are mirrors of your emotions. Their love feels like your longing. Their jealousy feels like your hurt. Their quarrels reflect the conflicts of family, marriage, and desire that have lived in human hearts since the beginning of time. And so, you drift into reflection. These myths do not simply entertain. They soothe the restless mind by reminding you that your struggles are not yours alone. The ancients felt them too, and clothed them in divine shapes, so they could be told by firelight and remembered in song. As the night deepens, you hold this thought gently. Love and strife, though often heavy, are also what bind us together. They are the forces that give shape to the fragile beauty of being human. You let the question rise quietly in your heart, soft as a whisper. If even the gods wrestle with love and pain, what might it mean for you to hold your own heart with patience as the night holds the stars? Tragedies and lessons. You hear the sorrow of Icarus falling, of Orpheus looking back, of Prometheus chained to stone. These tales ache softly, like distant music that never resolves. They are reminders that even myths carry warnings, not through anger, but through gentle repetition of human longing. Your breath slows again, and the story shifts into a quieter register. After the thunder of battles and the passions of love, what remains are the softer, aching tales, the tragedies that echo through Greek mythology. These stories are not told with triumph or grandeur, but with a gentle sadness, like distant music playing in the night. They are not warnings shouted, they are whispers, teaching through sorrow, reminding you of the fragile edge on which human life always rests. One of the first voices you hear is that of Icarus, the boy who dreamed of flight. You picture him, wings fastened to his arms with wax and feathers, rising above the sea with joy in his heart. His father, Daedalus, begged him not to fly too close to the sun, but exhilaration makes us forget warnings, and desire carries us higher than caution allows. The wax melts, the feathers scatter, and Icarus falls into the dark waters below. His name lives on, not because of his triumph, but because of his fall, reminding us of the cost of soaring without balance. As you listen, you can almost feel the warmth of the sun and the cool sting of the sea. You feel the lesson settle softly. Dreams are precious, but they ask for humility. Another voice rises, tender and mournful. Orpheus, whose music could tame stones and soften hearts. He descends into the underworld for love, hoping to bring back his lost Eurydice. His song persuades even Hades, who grants her release on one condition, that Orpheus not look back until they reach the light of day. Yet just before they emerge, doubt and longing overcome him. He glances back, and in that instant, Eurydice fades forever into shadow. The story aches because it feels so human, the way fear of loss can create the very loss we dread. It teaches not through punishment, but through a mirror of our own impatience and fragility. And then comes Prometheus, the Titan who defies Zeus by stealing fire for humankind. Fire, the spark of warmth, the gift of craft, the symbol of knowledge. Prometheus gives it freely, believing in the potential of mortals to grow, to create, to become more than fragile creatures of the earth. For his defiance, he is chained to a rock, his liver devoured each day by an eagle, only to heal and be devoured again. His suffering stretches endlessly, but his story endures as a reminder that progress often comes at a cost, and that gifts of light are rarely won without pain. Each tragedy is not an ending but a reflection, a way of seeing the delicate truths of human life. Icarus teaches of limits. Orpheus teaches of trust. Prometheus teaches of sacrifice. The Greeks did not hide these truths. They wove them into myths so their children would remember them, so their nights would carry not only dreams, but also wisdom. As you lie here, you might feel the weight of these tales not as burdens, but as companions. They remind you that mistakes, losses, and pains are not signs of failure, but part of the rhythm of existence. Just as night follows day and seasons circle endlessly, so too do joy and sorrow weave together. The myths are gentle teachers, asking you to hold both triumph and tragedy with equal grace. Your mind drifts now, touched by the calm of reflection. How many times have you, too, flown too close to the sun? How many times have you looked back when you knew you should keep moving forward? How many sacrifices have been made so that you could carry the light you hold today? These questions do not press for answers. They are soft reminders, resting like stars on the horizon of your thoughts, guiding you quietly into deeper stillness. Echoes beneath the stars. At last, the myths grow quiet, settling like dust across the night sky. You rest in their glow, knowing each story is not just history, but a lullaby of human dreams. The constellations seem to hum with memory, asking softly, which stories will you carry into sleep? The night deepens around you, and the myths grow quieter, as if they too are ready to rest. The battles of titans, the storms of Zeus, the tangled loves and tragedies, all of them soften now, settling into the stillness of eternity. What remains are echoes, drifting beneath the stars, carrying with them the memory of everything that has been told. You lift your gaze to the sky, and in its expanse, you begin to see stories etched in light. The Greeks believed that constellations were not just stars, but memories of myths, placed in the heavens so they would never fade. There is Orion, the great hunter, his figure stretching across the night. There is Cassiopeia, the proud queen sitting on her shining throne. There is Perseus, holding the head of Medusa, frozen forever in his victory. Each point of light is both a reminder and a comfort, that even endings can shine, that even sorrow can become beauty when carried into the night. The stars feel eternal, but they are also familiar. You can imagine an ancient shepherd lying on a hillside, looking at the same sky, whispering the same names. Thousands of years later, you lie here now, carried by the same stories, lulled by the same constellations. Myth, like the stars, is not bound to time. It belongs to the human heart, passed gently from one generation to the next, so that no one feels alone in the dark. As you breathe, you sense how the myths are not just tales of gods and heroes. They are mirrors of your own rhythms, your hopes, your fears, your loves, your losses. They live because they are woven from the same threads as your life. The jealousy of Hera is the jealousy you have known. The courage of Prometheus is the courage you have sought. The longing of Orpheus is the longing you have felt. Myths survive because they belong to all of us. The night hums softly with this truth. Stories are not chains to the past, but bridges. When you listen to them, you walk alongside countless others who once sought meaning in the same shadows. And as you listen, you add your own breath, your own silence, to the chorus of memory that stretches back to the beginning. The myths no longer feel like distant tales. They feel like lullabies, carrying you gently toward sleep. The stars above remain still, patient and bright. They ask nothing of you except to rest, to remember that your place in the universe is already secure. Just as the Greeks looked upward for comfort, so too can you. Their myths may be ancient, but their echoes are tender, like a hand resting quietly in yours. The stories remind you that even in the vastness of existence, you are not small, but part of a rhythm that continues endlessly, like waves upon a shore. And as the last echoes fade, you hold one final thought. Myths do not end. They rest in the night, waiting for another heart to listen, another dreamer to carry them forward. Tonight, that dreamer is you. And tomorrow, perhaps, someone else. And now the stories grow still. The voices of gods and mortals sink into silence, and only your breath remains, slow and steady. You are not asked to remember every detail, nor to hold every name. It is enough to know that you have walked gently through the echoes of time, guided by myths that have soothed countless souls before you. Let the weight of history rest softly upon you, not as a burden, but as a blanket, warm and familiar. The constellations above, the whispers of the earth below, and the myths between them, all are here to remind you that you are safe, you are held, and you are part of something infinite. So close your eyes, let your mind grow quiet, and allow sleep to carry you as gently as the night carries the stars.